Lesson 22 deals with working with the sections of a form. Okay, we're used to our forms looking similar to this, and then the layout view, looks pretty similar to that also. Alright, but working with design view of a form, you have these different sections. Okay, you have form header, page header, detail, page footer, form footer. And if you just click inside or underneath each one of those section bars, these are your section bars, it selects that section. So it says you need to insert a label in the form header. You have to click up here underneath form header, and you know you're in form header because it turns black. You have a little button right here to the left that selects all. So if you had several labels and text boxes in several different sections, then you would click this little button here, and when that black square is in there, everything would be selected. Alright, but this is basically how you deal with your bars, or your section bars. Okay, so now that you know kind of what design view looks like, we're going to close this. We're going to go create, and then we're going to go form design. Okay, so from here, it's only the detail section. Okay, so only the detail section. We won't have our other sections yet. Okay, so what we want to do to get our other sections in, just right click on the form anywhere. We're going to go page header footer. It's going to add our page header and footer. Now if you wanted to remove them, you could click it again and it would remove them, but we want to add them, so just right click anywhere on the form, page header and footer. We're also going to add the form header and footer, so we're going to right click again, select that, so we have all these sections. Alright, now you notice the detail section is pretty huge right now, but we'll get to resizing that here in a second. Alright, you want to click the detail section bar. We want to make the page header a little larger. We want to make it about 1/2 inch larger. So you have to use your ruler on the side and just kind of estimate about 1/2 inch. So you want to click on that bar there, and even though you're dragging it down, it seems kind of odd because you drag the top of the bar, not the bottom, because you don't have the double-headed arrow. So you drag the top of the bar, drag it down about 1/2 inch, and like I said, you just kind of have to estimate the size using the ruler over here, because it's hard to see the ruler exactly where it's at when you're starting. Alright, you want to drag the form footer bar up 1 inch. So that should actually be page footer. That's a typo in the book. So you want to select page footer, drag it up about 1 inch, like so, to decrease the section there. Okay, you want to close the form footer. We're not going to have one, so to get rid of this section, you just click on the bottom of it, completely drag it up, and it closes that section. Because if you don't want to form footer but you want to form header, you can just click close the section that way. Same thing right here. If you wanted to close page header, you could just drag that up and then close that section that way. So that's how that works. Alright, the next thing we want to do, we want to do the title. So to do this, under form design tools, header and footer, right here, header and footer, you're going to do a title, and it just automatically says form 1. We're going to change it to commerce, and again, it was already highlighted, it was already selected for you, so all you have to do is type. You don't have to hit backspace, delete, just start typing. Alright, click outside of it anywhere, so that's selected. The next thing we're going to do is add a date code. So to do this, if you come back to header and footer, you'll notice under title you have date and time. So you want to click date and time. You can do the time to the second, to the minute, military time, and then you can have the long date, short date, and however you want to do that. So on this here, we'll just hit OK, and you'll notice it says equals date parentheses equal time parentheses. That's just simple code for enter the current date and time. So that's all that is. So if you want to see what it's looking like, you right click, go to form view, and this is your form title, the current date, and the time that the form was created. Alright, Okay, now go back to design view. Okay, the next thing we want to do, you want to move controls. So moving controls between sections, pretty simple. And by the way, this is a control. Your date, your time, titles, those are all controls. Alright, so we're going to select our date, hold down control, select our time. So we're going to select both of them. So we're going to control X to cut them. Even though our form footer is closed, we're just going to select it, hit control V, it automatically puts them on there for us. And then we want to drag these over to the right. And then to see how everything looks, if you right click your tab, go to form view, you have your title, your date and time are now down here at the bottom. And that is it for lesson 22.